Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Incursio the Gamer Dungeons & Dragons quick build video. Today we have with us the Prince of Manchaland, Meursault. Now, of course, before we get started, I'd just like to say a few things. One, I'm still outside. Guys, I love this. Like, the grass is green, the sun is bright, and the skies are blue. What else can I say? Life is beautiful. You guys should touch some grass sometime. Next up, I'd like to say the Erlking, Heathcliff, and Cathrine are coming out on Friday. I just want to preface that. Happy Halloween, guys. Yeah, I really do like doing YouTube though. Throwing out these silly little videos, doing all these builds, and since midterms are over, I do have the time to do so now. I can even finish building my Gundam, which I'm like a third of the way through. But moving on from that, let's talk about the Limbus ID real quick. A Blood Fiend unit, a third kindred, meaning, of course, with the Priest and the Barber being third kindreds, Don Quixote, or Sancho in this case, did have to produce some lower kindreds. That's kind of neat. But moving on from that, really brutal fucking stats. Great health, great speed, great defenses, and of course, great attack stats. He is a bleed unit, of course being a blood fiend, with a little bit of random rupture thrown in there. In addition to that, he applies hard blood armor, which heals, just cause he can. In addition to that, hard blood armor does turn into focus performance, and focus performance allows for final power up and more damage. In addition to this, of course, he applies offense level up, defense level up, haste, as well as, just a tiny bit of lust fragility. In addition to that, this guy just, can't have enough. He has unbreakable coins, unlike his second kindred, counterpart, Rodion. So he's just really good. I like it how the third kindred is more powerful than the second kindred, but after all, he did come out later, so it's fine. It should be okay. Let's talk about now, of course, our Prince Meursault DND ID. He's going to be a male Warforged fighter warlock. Fighter is going to be Rune Knight, and the Hexblade for warlock. I like the Hexblade, what can I say? But I know you guys wanted to see some more Battlemaster. I feel Rune Knight is actually more beneficial to him in this case. And level 6, I'm going to talk a little bit about the level 7 build though. So let's get straight into this. For stats, Strength, Con, and Charisma are going to be your highest. Charisma to mirror the Rodion ID, of course. Strength and Constitution because he is naturally a melee fighter, unlike the princess who uses just a lot of fucking magic pretty much, or that's kind of what it looks like from her attacks. Yeah, she is strong, but using the parasol to just whack upon the enemies and then also spitting out blood and just raw psychic thunder energy from it, she has a lot going to her. Not a lot of things we can do stat distribution wise. Dex, Intelligence, Wisdom are going to be your low stats. If you have a low, like 8 or something, throw it into Dex. You really don't need it there, because your armor class is already up from, Chainmail. Now, let's talk about our other stats. 20 AC, of course, 1 Initiative, 30 Speed, 61 Hit Points. Really high. Resistance to Poison, Immune to Disease, and Magical Sleep, as you are a Warforged after all. Now, let's talk saving throws. Strength and Con are going to be your proficiencies, and you have advantage against being poisoned. 14, 11, 11 for passive senses, respectively. Dark Vision, 30 feet, not 60 this time. For, of course, proficiencies, here are they. And let's talk about the rest of your stuff now. I believe Laser Rifle was from something else. Yeah, let me just remove that really quickly. I don't have... Actually, guys, to be honest, I don't have the Warforged race. I have a copy of the Warforged race from a different character, that being V3, which is from my first campaign ever. And I've just been copying this guy. I've just been duping him to get that Warforged race. Don't let D&D Beyond know I have him. It's very illegal what I'm doing. But anyways, Athletics, History, Intimidation, Perception, and Survival. These are going to be, of course, your proficiencies. I would personally like Performance a little more than Perception, but you know what? It is what was available to me, with the fighter proficiencies, the starter proficiencies. So we make do with what we have. Advantage on Insight, by the way, and disadvantage on Stealth. Now, for our actions, you have your Longsword, Eldritch Blast, and Unarmed Strike. You also have your Dash, Disengage, Dodge, Grapple, Shove. And now, for, of course, your Longsword, this is going to be the quote-unquote weapon he uses. But really, you're here with spells as well. You are a Warlock. And... we'll just get into it in a quick little bit. Bonus actions, you have Giant's Might. That comes really nice with the Fighter 3, or Rune Knight. Or, is it Rune Knight? I keep thinking Hollow Knight as of recently, but yeah, Rune Knight. So, of course, there are a lot of other things you can do, but Hexblade's Curse, really good stuff. Plus 3 bonus to damage rolls, and a 19 or 20, you critical hit. You regain 5 HP if it dies. Pretty Blood Fiend-like ability right there. You have to have Pact Bond, so you can just summon your weapon. It's just, a hard blood weapon, I guess. you can conjure it up as a bonus action. And second win, healing a little HP with maybe a blood bag that you just have stored nearby. For reactions, you have Stone Rune. Now, me personally, Stone Rune is pretty good, but I would replace it with Cloud Rune, or, if you're level 7, Hill Rune. Hill Rune gives you a lot of fucking stats. I think it gives you, like, just flat dexterity as well. So that's really cool. But anyways, Stone Rune, reaction to force a creature, make a wisdom saving throw, and if save succeeds, it doesn't happen, but if it doesn't, then creature's charmed for a minute. Pretty Blood Fiend-like. And, you know, creating lower kindreds. Remember, there was the Sasha event with the Warp Train, so there is that. For other, you're also going to have your Fire Rune, dealing a little more damage. That's pretty much, you know, Blood Fiend thing. There are people outside, there are cars all around. I'm outside, remember, guys? But anyways, you also have Mending and Alarm. You also have Action Surge, doing a little more damage. Fire Rune, Hex Warrior is also just kind of really good. You know, you gain proficiency with stuff, so that's nice. Charisma modifier for attack and damage rolls as well. Magical Cunning, you know, yeah, regaining spell slots. It pretty much happens with all magical classes. Limited use, you've seen everything. So let's just get into our spells now. Eldritch Blast, Mage Hand, and Mending. All these are really good. I really like Eldritch Blast because you get 2d10 damage right off the bat. Mage Armor, at will. Now, you're just going to do this to yourself all the time. AC becomes 13 plus Dex modifier, but you're going to be mostly applying that to your allies because you're not going to need this because you have so much in AC. You have your shield, you have your armored bonus for fighting style, for defensive, I think, fighting style, and you also have your integrated protection from Warforged. This right here, your hard blood armor, that's just going to be for your allies. You're going to be helping them all the time. First level at will spell slot. Alarm and Detect Magic. Detect Magic kind of makes sense. Alarm, not really. So I didn't know what else to take. So I decided, you know what? You know how he's like kind of in the warp train and he just sets up a bunch of blood bags and all that, and like it's basically his defenses. He knows when they're coming. He can kind of, you know, form that little bond with his lower kindreds that he has birthed. As you know, Philia and Piety is bad, and all the lower blood fiends must respect the higher ranked ones. You get my point. Inventory, chainmail, longsword, shield, and a bunch of the items, of course. These are really all you need. You don't need anything else. This guy is a pure combatant with, you know, a little bit of roleplay thrown in there because he has that charisma. He has some good, you know, skills. But anyways, features and traits, let's talk about those. Starting off with the fighter, survival perception. As you guys see, defense, +1 to AC. Second wind's good, action surge is good, rune knight. Now, rune carver, fire rune and hill rune are optimal and ideal, but you can take stone rune or cloud rune if you're still level 6. Remember, I only build level 6 for now, but at 7th level, you get the next one, and it's really good. Please, please take hill rune. And of course, giant's might, bonus action, you just get really strong. Remember how in the old Manchaland there were, you know, giant blood fiends the size of windmills that Don Quixote and Sancho had to fight. It was a really cool little snippet on their backstories, and, you know, just really cool stuff. He gains that giant's might. In addition to that, Warlock, he gets Pact of the Blade, Armor of Shadows, and Pact of the Tome. I just like how they can do that. They can just do everything they want. They can take all the pacts. But if you can't do that, I apologize. I would personally take Pact of the Tome instead of Pact of the Blade. But moving on from that, Armor of the Shadows is good. Mage Armor is nice. You also have, of course, Hex Blade, Hexblade's Curse, Hex Warrior, all that stuff. Species traits. He is, as a Warforged, constructed resilience. He doesn't need to eat, sleep, or breathe. Pretty, you know, canon to a Blood Fiend. All he really needs, or wants, is blood. For the nutrition, not nutritional value, but for, you know, like that, how should I say it? The drug value. Anyways, immune to disease, don't need to sleep. Magic cannot put you to sleep. Sentries rest. Yeah, you get the point. Sleeps for quote-unquote 6 hours, but he just remains motionless and doing whatever the fuck he wants. And +1 to armor class. That's really nice. For feats, Savage Attacker from Soldier. Not a lot of my builds have been taking, you know, just random feats as of lately. It's mostly from your background these days. And, of course, background. Speaking of which, it's just 1 to each of your traits, so strength, dex, and con. In addition to that, neutral, evil, male with red eyes, medium size, about 6'2", faith in the Manchaland family this time. Remember that backstory where they kind of overthrew the first kindred right there? There's also black hair, white skin, 227, 150 some odd pounds. This, ladies and gentlemen, add whatever you want to personality traits, notes, and extras, and then you are done. This is pretty much, you know, the Prince Meursault build that I've kind of been hyping up for 0 amount of hours. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I will get those other videos out on Friday. And, yeah, I mean, it's nice to be making videos again. It's nice to bask in the sun and, enjoy the nice little things in life. I do suggest you all, have a wonderful day, because it is a wonderful day. Every single day that you're alive is a blessing, and every single day that you have been turned into a blood fiend by Cassetti is not exactly ideal. The day you've been turned into a blood bag is unfortunately sad. But it is what it is, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye and good night.